Well, good evening everyone and welcome along once again to Inside Line Racing ILR2 Season 3. We're back for round number 10 of the ILR2 season. We're here at the wonderful Hungarian, situated just outside Budapest in the country of Hungary. We're back once again for round 10. We saw a brilliant race last time out in Silverstone with Mr. Costa taking his first ever ILR win at that track, and we had an amazing battle between the two Williams who crossed the line evens pretty much on the line, and unfortunately there was a penalty for Pag as he dropped right down. We'll get the standings for you in a moment once I introduce Mr. Owen Wide, who joins me in the commentary box once again.
Hello everybody, and yeah, good to be here again. Very good race last time, so hopefully we get the same this week. Hopefully the rain that's been said in the chat, there's going to be rain, so hopefully that comes and it'll be yeah, shaking up the field.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely going to be thinking we're going to see times around the 1:17, 16s maybe as the pole time. I shall ride on board with Mr. Costa, the winner last time out. We're going to go for a lap around the Hungarian, so he's coming up to turn 2 now. First DRS section, this short little section running into this hairpin, which is very off camber, very easy to go wide there. Then a quick flick to the right, full power up to this lovely section at the top of the hill, completely blind. This is of course where Massa had his horrific accident involving the suspension spring of Rubens Barrichello, and then tied into the right hand side, and before this deceivingly fast chicane down to third gear, clip the curb on the inside on the power, and then we come to this deceivingly tough little section, this left right left section. One corner runs into the other, but it's very easy to understeer, and this corner is a wonderful corner. It's almost flat, but a little bit of a lift for Mr. Costa then as he runs down towards the final sequence of corners. Sector 2 split just there, and then we come to the final two hairpins on the brakes, tight to the inside, easy on the power on the way out, and then coming to the last corner, gently on the power on the way halfway through there. Let's see what Mr. Costa, he's going to go on provisional pole, of course, with a time of a 1:17.360, and just got the Red Bull coming in the background to go second. Lio Blade, there he is again, and I think we have I only just noticed that Jack is racing.
Yeah, he said in chat he wasn't sure if he wanted to, if he didn't want to. He just decided to.
So I think he's filling in for Sam this week, as far as I'm aware. So he's teammates with ILR Jake this season, and we also have a debut racer from Chill Drive, Alex in P16 there. He's filling in for Liam, I think, who's going to be missing for a few races. So he's filling in for him. This is his first race in ILR2. He's been a reservist for a while. So welcome to the ILR grid, and I'm sure he's going to get his baptism of fire as Brandon did last week. Brandon is nowhere to be seen this week. Maybe he got scared and didn't come back. But currently, first couple of drivers setting their times now. Mr. Costa still P1 on a 1:17.361. Tom in P2 with a 1:17.3. Well, there's Yannick going
margins.
Yeah, 1:17.354, which is only a couple of thousandths, about 8 thousandths of a second quicker than Mr. Costa. And then, well, Mr. Costa takes it away, 1:17.254. So they're all so close together. This is just the trademark of ILR2. ILR Jake, now I'm going to be watching out for him because he's been looking quick in his practices. So I wouldn't put it past him to get a front row. He's taken one podium this season in Monaco, thanks to penalties. So we'll be looking out for him again. So current provisional lineup is Mr. Costa, ILR Jake, Yannick, Tom, Paga in P5, Silent Assassin, Massives, Dina, Joe, Scott and Paul, EVR, Matt, Lio Blade, and all of these guys have all set 1:17s, and they're all roughly within about 6/10 of each other, if my maths is correct. I think that's about 6/10 of a second separating the first 13, which is quite commonplace, to be honest, in ILR2. So who else is left to set a lap? Corey, who came in second position last time out in Silverstone, was a great result for him. Fought all the way to the line with Paga. You can, of course,
Luke, it's the end of his lap.
Let's have a look at Luke. He goes 16th fastest on the 1:18.5.
Try to find that yellow flag.
it's Sector 2. It's probably a car pull. I think it was a Toro Rosso, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Paul McGuinness or EVR Matt who it was. They're back in the pits now. Corey coming through to set a lap now. Here we go then. Let's see where Corey's going to go with this lap. He's going to come across the line to go into 6th on a 1:17.50. 0.05 of a second quicker than Silent Assassin. And Silent Assassin is only about 0.04 of a second quicker than Massives, who's in P8. And it's... I can never get over how close all these guys are. It's just ridiculous.
It shows the practice that has to go in to make the lap times work. Every practice lap could account for that. A couple of hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows you that these guys say they're not sweating, but secretly they very much are. And this just shows it with the top 14 separated by 0.7 of a second. We've got a few outsiders there, but I reckon they're just getting their sighter laps in.
Yeah.
And Corey is the only man out on track currently, apart from Casper, who's on an out lap. Everybody's back into the pits. So Corey, I'm pretty sure, is on an in lap currently, unless he's up on his lap time. I think he might actually be up on his lap time, judging by his delta.
He is up.
I think he's 0.2 up on his best. Yeah, this could be good.
Seconds.
Yeah, possibly. If he can string the last sector together, let's watch as it comes to the line. Where's this going to put Corey? It's going to put him into P2, as you said, 1:17.26, and it's only 1/100th that separates him and that pole position.
Does he have enough time to get back to the pits, put new tyres on and get another lap in? He had to absolutely hammer it around.
Yeah, he is going to, because thanks to F1 2017, the pit crew are paraplegics almost. They'll drag you into the pits at a rate of about 1 mile per hour. So he's going to have to boot it round, and I would find it quite funny if he went faster on his in lap than he did with his timed lap, but we'll see in due course how that goes. So a couple of drivers back out on track now. Yannick Brandt, one of the guys out on track as well. Massives about to start a lap. We also have Scott on his way out as well. Nobody going for any ridiculous strategies. Not everybody doing their laps on the super softs. So we have super soft, soft and mediums here this weekend. So I think it's going to be...
we'll probably see a lot. Well, I would have said if we were having a dry race, we would have saw a lot of supers to mediums. Probably would have worked fine.
Yeah.
And I wonder how this rain is going to work. I don't know how many people have practiced for the rain. If what they're saying in the chat is correct, his chill drive almost has a little spin on his like that. But yeah, that would really will shake it up.
Yeah, and it all depends if it's full wets or intermediates, and if it's going to dry up. There's a lot of variables involved.
Yeah.
But if it was dry, as you said, then a lot of guys definitely outside the top 10 would be shaking it up, and I definitely think Scott would be doing that. He likes to just go on his alternate strategies and climb it through the field, as we saw last weekend. If you want to check out the last race, you can do so by scrolling down a little bit and checking out the ILR2 highlights of Silverstone, and you'll find that Scott decided he didn't want to do a pit stop and came across the line to technically win, but was disqualified for not making a pit stop because he was bored. That was an excellent. He did the entire race on a set of mediums, which was quite impressive. Massives 1:69. Wow, the Malteser is most certainly quick. 1:16.9. He's the first to set the benchmark, and it's currently a Haas 1-2 on the grid. So now he sets the benchmark. So surely we're going to see the times fall even further than they did. He's the first man to break into the 1:16s. Now, can anybody else do it, is the question.
Paga is starting to up now, I think. Yannick's on a lap. Most of them are just starting, and it doesn't look like Corey's going to get back out. He's going to be very touch and go. He's leaving his pit garage now.
Yeah, he's going to have to actually probably do a timed lap, as if he's doing a timed lap on his out lap. So he's got to push it. He'll just about get across the line, I think, with a couple of seconds to go, if he doesn't make a hames of it. So he's got to keep it between the lines and get around in time. Yannick, 1:16.94, slightly takes that position by 0.02 of a second. Now, Mr. Costa's on a lap as well.
Oh my goodness, comes to the line.
10th.
Only 10.
300ths off of Josh. Here comes Mr. Costa. He can't improve. I think he made a mistake on that lap somewhere. Jake is on a lap as well. He's going to be one to watch. In the number 99.
Paga in the last sector.
Paga, yeah, your championship leader currently. But that championship lead is coming down. So here he comes through the final corner. He always likes to pull a pole lap out of the bag at the last minute. Here comes Paga across the line, and it's only good for third. 1:17.1. Is there more to give? Is the question.
Here comes Jake.
Here comes Jake. Let's see what he can do. He said he can do the ones into the 116s. Where can the Mercedes go this time around? He can go nowhere because he's going on to a lap. He was only slightly quicker that time around, but he needs a little bit more.
Scott comes to the last corner now. He's up on his last time by about 2/10, looking at top 8. And actually makes a massive gain.
Scott across the line, P9. That's a good result for Scott. He's always started outside the top 10, as far as I'm aware, in these a couple of races that we've had, the first 10 rounds. So that's good to see him into Josh into P4 as well with that lap of a 1:17.2. Mr. Costa through the final corner. He's up by 2/10. Here he comes. P1 1:16.945. 3 thousandths of a second. Takes provisional pole. Can Paga displace him? He's also up by a 1/10 of a second in the final sector. Tom is going to be first across the line. Let's see what he can do. P4 1:17.0. Paga through the final corner. He's a 1/10 and a half up on his best. Here comes the Dutchman. Can he do it? To the line, yes he can! 1:16.937. Corey still to come across the line as well. I think he's also on a timed lap. He is. That is incredibly close in the top. So here comes Corey through the final corner. Can he improve on his time? Here he comes to the line. Can he do it? P6 only for Corey. Wow.
Jordan out.
Jordan to come across the line. I think he just got into the top 10 with
P9.
that lap. P9 with that one. Wow. I think there was there was just a couple of thousand separating the top three. Look at that, 100th between the top three. Paga takes another pole position, but this time by only 7 thousandths of a second. Yannick P3 and Massive's 100th of a second separated the top 5. And
I've never seen anything like it.
The top 15 separated by 7/10ths of a second. That is just stupid. And I've never ever seen that.
Still making loads of noise.
Yeah, Paga once again takes another pole position. And
I'm gonna back in a second. So
yeah, we've got a jet engine in the background. So we're in for, yes, most certainly, definitely a wet race. It's pouring rain in Hungary, so that's going to shake up everything. And we're going to see some interesting stuff thanks to the rain. Just going to check if it's intermediate. I'm pretty sure it's intermediate conditions. We'll see. Don't think it's going to be full wet conditions, but certainly intermediate conditions. When we get underway for the formation lap, we can judge the conditions and run through the grid order one last time before we go to lights out. So here we are then, intermediate conditions, as we said. So Paga, once again, pole position for another race in a row. Mr. Costa will be alongside him on that front row in the Haas. And then we have Yannick in P3, Massives in P4, Tom in P5, Corey in P6, Josh in P7, Jake in P8, Silent Assassin will start P9, Matt will start P10. That's a good result from him actually to start the top 10. Matthew P11, Lioblade P12, Scott P13, Paul McGuinness P14, Casper P15, Childrive P16, and Luke will start down the back in P17. I think we actually lost Jack, so he's obviously not racing, or he had a connection issue because he's gone. But once again, I think that might be Paga's third pole position in a row. I if I'm not, I think he's had 3 in a row right now. He certainly got one in Silverstone.
Yeah.
But he's now got Mr. Costa for company. Mr. Costa's got a good few front row starts this season. And Yannick, good to see him up the grid as well. Massive's not too far behind as well. And that top 5 is certainly a tasty one.
Well, it's only intermediate conditions then for this, so it might not be too long before there's a tyre change. Normally, it won't stay enters the whole race. Normally, it never does. So, yeah. Because
the rain does not look that heavy, even just on the onboard. So, I think we're just going to see it dry up because there's already breaks in the clouds. So, I think we're going to see a transition period somewhere in this race. Whenever that will be, we don't know. But here we go then.
Jet engine.
The jet engine.
It's not fixed, man. I can't do anything.
Oh well.
It's never this bad.
We'll deal with it. It's fine. So then Paga lined up on the front row for, I think, the 4th time this season. 4 pole positions. And Mr. Costa alongside him towards turn 1. Who's going to get the jump? It's going to be one hell of a race is all I know. Round 10 of the ILR2 season is about to get underway. 5 red lights for round number 10. Lights out, race on, they all squirm for grip. Paga gets a good getaway from the front row. Mr. Costa gets a good getaway as well. And they all seem to be fighting towards turn 1 as here comes Mr. Costa looking to the inside of Paga towards turn number 1. And down the inside he goes for the lead. And I think he's into P1. Yes, he is. Gets the grip. Massive has had a brilliant getaway. Pulling alongside Paga there, trying to get into P2 and make it the Haas 1-2. Paga looking to the outside as they run towards turn 2. Yannick has lost out there on that start. Corey down to P5. And they all seem to have got through relatively unscathed. Fighting away is Corey and Yannick there. Oh, we got a spinner. Oh dear, that's Lio Blade into the wall in the background. Huge crash into the wall. The once championship leader earlier in the year is having a torrid time right now. But Mr. Costa, brilliant getaway and into the lead after 1 lap.
There were 5 abreast into turn 1. Lots of front wing flying, so I wonder who might have been damaged from that. So might be pit stops at the end of the lap. Chill Drive, he went off. He's definitely got front wing damage. He might have to pit, and Lio Blade is out of the race.
Yep. So let's just.
Oh, Mathis, he's got front wing damage as well.
Yeah, we'll just have a look at if we can see whom is the biggest mover through that. Paul McGuinness up 4 positions from where he started. That's a good getaway for the Scotsman. He's already looking up the inside of Matthew, I think, into the second last hairpin, looking up the inside of the Red Bull there. Matthew, of course, with a full-time ILR2 seat now. Looking around the outside into the last corner is Paul McGuinness. He's not going to be able to do it there. There's not enough space to work with, but he'll surely have a go down towards turn 1. And here he comes in the slipstream of the Red Bull just ahead. Let's see if he can pull to the inside and pull it off. Matthew goes to very late on the brakes. It's going to be contact now. What on earth was that?
I just don't know.
And Paul McGuinness is going to capitalise massively here. Here he comes side by side with ILR Jake down the inside, trying to get past into P9. And yes, he is through. And he's up 5 positions from where he began this race.
Well, it's not the best defender I've ever seen in my entire life, but
I'm not quite sure what went on. I think Matthew just had a massive lapse of judgment, went straight into the side of Josh. Interestingly.
Never know.
Perhaps,
could be a lot of factors in towards that. 2 Ferraris having a bit of a fight. Tom was alongside Jordan there, but I think he backed out of it into the chicane. Corey, when that battle was going on with Matthew, he went very wide at turn 1, almost lost the place, but Jordan looks like he's struggling as well, so hasn't quite been able to take the advantage. Tom looking the quicker of the 2 Ferraris right now, almost into the back of his teammate for the S's.
Yeah.
Oh, move ahead.
Oh, yeah, we got Yannick on massives, and that was to regain his 3rd position that he had earlier at the start of the race, and now that's going to leave him vulnerable to Corey, who's already starting to look for a way past the Malteser here. Let's see, running through. Yannick a bit wide through there as well, but Mr. Costa has already pulled 2 seconds on Paga in the lead of this race. And Yannick just trying to get some heat into the tyres. You can see him weaving down the straight there. I also see EVR, Matt and Scott have a little bit of a ding-dong battle there as Matt went into P11. See if Scott can maybe come back at him into turn 1. No, he can't. In the background, just see that'll be Casper trying to look up the inside of Chill Drive. A little bit of side-by-side going on there. and that will be Casper into, well, it'll be 14th in this race.
Yep. I'd say Coy's probably most likely to make an attack right now. Masses with a front wing damage just isn't looking comfortable right now. He's gone wide, in fact.
There he goes.
Coy up the inside, looking for it.
Yeah.
Yannick wide again.
I just check if Yannick doesn't seem to have any wing damage. Just having a look as we run through the this camera here. No, looks good. Massives definitely has some cascade elements gone off the front end of that Haas. And let's keep an eye on the two Ferraris who are just behind this battle. And we all know what happened in Spain when they went side by side. It didn't end well. A bit of frostiness.
Not happy. Corey had a great exit, going for the inside for third place in Massives. He went wide, Massives, out of the right-hander. The front wing damage really not helping him there, and Corey's up into fourth place.
Yeah, good bit of racing from the both of them there. Corey wide out of that corner. They're just starting to get accustomed to the intermediate conditions. And now, Silent Assassin can now mount the attack on Massives here. So we're on lap 4 of 35. Jordan in the slipstream of Massives here in towards turn 1. No move on there, definitely too far back. His Massives had a little think about going for a move on Corey there. Definitely too far back, but he's making sure he doesn't come into the pits this early on. He'd lose a chunk of time getting that front wing repaired, so he's just gritting his teeth through it all and getting on with it. And everybody...
Obviously, there's no DRS, obviously. It's seriously having a... But you see how many people are over in that second. Like, there's such a massive concertina for the field.
Oh, we've got to
DRS
move.
is making a massive difference.
Ooh, good bit of side-by-side action between Casper and Luke. That was into turn 3, I think, the top of the hill. They did well to keep it together through there. Into P13 goes Casper. And clawing his way up through the field. Let's have a...
Jordan's up.
Jordan, the Ferrari, had a little bit of a moment. And now here comes Tom, tighter line.
I wonder if he got damaged. He got damaged, but...
Well, here comes Tom to take away the position. Jordan fighting on the outside, but Tom, I think, is into P6. Just gonna have a look on board with Jordan. He doesn't seem to have any damage, but he seems to be okay. And Massives...
Here comes Massives.
He's not letting Corey go, so I think that was just a poor lap from me. I think he's starting to get used to this wing damage now. And Mr. Costa is absolutely flying up front. 2.2 seconds clear of Paga in P2. And is doing an excellent job in these intermediate conditions. Just having a look at Josh showing his nose a little bit towards Jordan there into turn 1. And we have 16 drivers still running.
I wonder if Massives, like I see lots of people doing this for wet race, so they put really large amounts of front wing on the car, just in, in the setup, because you can change that obviously on the grid. I wonder if he's just whacked that up just in case they got in collisions. That's why people who have got front wing damage haven't pitted. I'm one to have loads of accidents when I have races. I don't think I finished a race this month in ILR, so yeah, I do that quite a lot, and it seems people who've been able to do that to deal with damage, but looks like Chill Drive isn't doing it particularly well. He's very slow at the moment, unfortunately. Only thing that's stopping him from falling to last is the fact that Murphy's also got damage.
Yeah, well, he said that he qualified in a wet setup, so I'm not quite sure why he's having so many teething problems. Of course, it is his first race in ILR, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But currently, Tom's starting to mount the pressure on Massives now, going on to lap 6 of 35. No signs of the rain slowing down, and so these drivers, I would assume, are just hoping that the rain stops. Stay out as long as possible on those inters. So let's see if Tom can do anything to get past the Haas. He's got a great straight line speed in that Ferrari. Look how much he closes up towards turn 1. Is he going to have a go? Nope. Definitely thinks better of it there. And let's see any moves behind.
Just behind Paul on the inside of Jake again. Tried it.
Yeah,
that could work.
I think that was Matt. Actually, it was EVR Matt.
Yeah.
Paul is up in 9th.
Next up. Whoopsie.
Yeah, very easy mistake to make, but
Matt cropped it.
Well, Matt and Paul seem to be doing really, really well in these wet conditions, as they're both on the cusp of points. But there you see Matt running wide, and now Scott starting to put the pressure on. Coming through turn 4. Running up the hill. No moves on from them just yet. I'm just looking at the field is still so close together. Their maximum, about 10 seconds spread the entire field, roughly. So they're all still really, really close together.
Just looking again at Masses trying to get back on Corey again.
Yeah, Corey doesn't seem to be liking these conditions for whatever reason. Just checking if he has any damage. No, he doesn't. But oh, Massive's wide there. Let's see if Tom can have a crack at it down the straight, maybe. Mr. Costa, again with the fastest lap. So the times are starting to fall as the track gets a little bit drier each time they run over the dry line. So Tom looking very racy. Let's see if he can mount a move on Massive towards turn 1. He's going to go for it down the inside into turn 1. Ferrari on Haas action. Down the inside goes Tom. Massive still there on the outside. Give each other the space. So Tom's going to change to the outside line. Massive will have the inside for turn 2. Let's see if he can pull this off around the outside of turn 2. Massives, I think, is going to be able to hold on to that, but Tom is still sticking his nose in stubbornly, refusing to give up. Massives runs very wide out of that corner there, so that'll be him holding on for that to that position for now.
Jordan, it's not too close actually. I was hoping he would be able to get up there and take advantage, because they were side by side for so long. Yeah. I don't know how I didn't crash. I thought turn 3 they were going to end up in big trouble there, but luckily they got away with it.
Yeah, I guess the benefits of being so far into the round is that you can start to see drivers starting to mature and the racecraft starting to improve as Tom's lost it. As I literally cursed it as soon as I started talking. But as I was attempting to say, you can just see drivers starting to develop, their racecraft starting to improve, and just having better races in general, because there's just been less DNFs each race that goes by, because I think we had something like 10 retirements in round 1, and
seriously,
if I remember correctly, it was something like that. There was a lot of retirements, but now drivers are starting to mature, starting to just think about, well, if I keep going, I might get points, and this is what's happening. Everybody's starting to race closer, race hard for positions, and that's exactly what we want to see.
And most of them, like I said, keeping their noses clean as well. So that's, yeah, because as you say, they are definitely getting much clean.
Yeah.
Can't say the same for ILR3. I swear it crashes at turn 1 nearly every week now.
But we can actually make a statement on how serious I suppose they take racecraft, because if you notice, there is no sign of Mr. Hellboy in ILR2. He has in fact been blacklisted from the league, so he won't be returning, because from what I heard, he was if the race wasn't really going his way, then he'd just pile it into the wall. That's what I heard anyway. But that's of course not what we want to see. So as a result, EFC Matthew has been doing a fantastic job in the past couple of races as a reservist. Then he's got a full-time drive now. So let's go back to the action momentarily as I see Paul McGuinness starting to pile the pressure on Josh for P8. Thinks about a move down the inside. Think a little dive, showing his nose. Paul is driving excellently today. He's loving the wet conditions down the inside of the South African here into turn. Well, the last couple of hairpins here. Josh runs a bit wide towards the pit lane, and Paul is into P number 8. He's driving excellently today.
Josh left him plenty of space in today. I wonder if he left him just a little bit too much. He seemed like he broke really early for him there. Probably could have defended that one a bit harder, but I didn't crash at least, so
yeah. Meanwhile, out front, Mr. Costa still leading this race by 3.5 seconds over Paga. He's just been piling in the lap times and just pulling a slight gap, slight bit of time each lap. And Paga is just not able to keep that pace. And Yannick, he's still there in P3 where he qualified and running around really well there.
Matthew and Childrive are side by side.
They've been having a battle for the past couple of laps. Actually, down the inside goes Childrive.
Oh, he got on the track, is it? Oh, he did. He went too late there.
Yeah, still learning the ropes. So
with the damage, I'm surprised they're doing so well to keep the cars on the track when they're actually fighting.
yeah,
I mean, you can see they're struggling, like, visibly through the corners. They're having to put so much into making sure they don't go off.
Just keeping an eye on.
Driving.
Just keeping an eye on the battle between Matt and Jake here. This is for the tail end of the points. Matt trying to find a way past Jake. He's lost it. Bounced off the barrier. Was lucky.
Yeah, it was sides of the tires he hit it with, so he's okay.
He was lucky not to break his end plate there, but he lost 3 positions there. So now Scott can start putting pressure on, and there's Casper as well. Been chipping away at the lap times, and he's there now fighting for that tail end of those points. No moves between Tom and Massives just yet. And we are on lap 10 of 35. There goes Tom down the inside, as I was saying it, of Massives. Massives leaves him just enough room to work with and still holds on versus Tom. This is impressive stuff, because if you don't forget, Massives is running with front wing damage. So he's doing an excellent job to hold on to that position, because he's got huge amounts of understeer through those long hairpins, and he's doing excellently to hold on.
So no movement on the fight for 10th at the moment. I mean, there's 3 cars in this fight, 4 cars for it.
Jake, Scott, Casper and Matt all fighting for 10th position. So no love lost between all these drivers. They all want the points. Scott was very wide. Here comes Casper on the inside of the chicane. Down the inside goes the Finn. And he might have to cut the corner there. Matt is going to capitalise on that as well. Casper's into P11 and Matt is into P12 as a result of that move. And that's how quickly your fortunes can change. So then back
Looks
up.
Like Paul's right on Jordan, who's now catching up to Tom. He's now on Massive as well. That could become a 4-car fight very soon.
Yeah, it is definitely becoming a 4-car fight.
Jake is actually right on Josh. Jake's going for it on Josh.
Yeah,
have a little look.
So he's managed to catch up to this the South
Josh
African. Josh got the broken front wing, in he comes. So Jake into P9 and Casper into the points. Now, as a result of that, through he comes to take away P10. Let's quickly shift back to Paul McGuinness, who's now right on the back of Jordan. He's doing exceptionally today. He's had a poor run of races. So good to see him fighting up in the top 10 competitively, and he seems to. Josh going for the wets. So obviously he thinks that the rain's getting worse.
And I can sort of see where it's coming from. You can see how it's actually pounding down really badly now. I said it wouldn't stay inches for long. Didn't expect it to go this way though.
I thought it was going to be the opposite way, but it's gone the opposite way from the opposite way.
Tom had a very, very decent exit there.
Yeah.
Running through turn 5 was very good, but he's not got the run. I wonder if Matthew's going to go on to the wets as well. He's in the pits. Got a 5-second stop-go penalty. He stayed on the inters. He doesn't think it's wet enough yet. Oh, maybe he did. Maybe he did. He didn't mean to.
Yeah, now I can see where Josh is coming from, because it's really coming down. When you ride on the onboards, Tom with a much better exit. Massive's going defensive towards the last section. Just gives him enough room to work with. Nice bit of racing. Great spatial awareness from Massives there. Let's see if Tom is going to go for it. Thinks about it down the inside. Massives leaves the space. A little bit of a tap and run from Tom. Massive somehow slides the car through and is still going to hold on to P5. But he's going to be very vulnerable down the straight now. Let's keep an eye on board with the Northern Irishman here. Massives goes right to the wall. Where is Tom going to go? He's going to have to go to the outside towards turn 1, squeezing each other towards turn 1. Yeah. He wants to go to the outside, but he's going to get the switch back. Oh, where's Jordan come out of?
Jordan went for it and he's hit him.
Jordan out of nowhere. Jordan out of nowhere. That was very interesting. Tried a very late dive. Definitely didn't work out for him. Scott's going onto the wets as well, I've just noticed, in P13.
Yeah.
It's extremely wet out there now.
Yep, Chill drives onto the wets as well, and a new front wing to fix his damage.
So these guys could have made a really good call here, because they could come right back into play if the rain gets worse. So they're taking a gamble that it is getting worse. Riding on board with Paul McGuinness now, who's in P7, chasing after Tom and Massives. Let's just see. Just right on board with Scott, see how he's doing on those full wets. It definitely looks like the right weather for him. He seems to have the grip.
Oh,
As I say, that is a massive slide. But
loving this commentator's curse today.
yeah, it's brilliant today. 2 times in a row. But yeah, as you said, that Mr. Costa is still pulling the gap, and now Yannick is right with Paga. He's coming to the pits, actually. Paga is diving into the pits, so he's the first of the leaders, I think, who's going to go on to wets. The full wet tyres. So let's see, look for those blue walls on the side of the tyre. Is he going for them? Yes, he is. Paga is going for the wets.
So's Jordan, so's Casper.
Yeah, they've all
Jake as well.
They're making
Luke.
the dive for them. Luke in as well.
Top 6 all still out.
Yeah, I'm not. Is that the right call? How much time are they going to lose? Jake onto the
I'd
wets.
say they're going to lose a lot. Look at the rain now. This is honestly very, very heavy.
Yeah, let's just right on board with Tom as he. Yeah, they're sliding through every single corner. The intermediates are not able to deal with this much water, and they've got to be careful.
Riding them curves. Don't
Yeah.
be doing that when it's raining like that. That will easily lead to a spin if he hits him too hard. And he's actually pushing Masters through the corner.
He's giving him a little helping hand.
Yeah.
So the top 7 are still all on intermediates, and all the guys from 8th downwards, apart from Matthew, all on the full wet tyres. We haven't actually had a full wet race this season, so it's nice to see a little change. But
I see blue tires every now and again.
yeah, they're always nice to see. Tom still looking for a way past. Let's see if Mr. Costa is going to come in. No, he's staying out.
Just looking at Paga, he's losing a bit of time to
Yannick
Matt. I mean,
is
he's
in.
losing like 1 or 2.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Has he bottled it? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he has bottled it. He's broke his front wing again.
I think he's just given up with the front wing. Yannick and Corey into the pits for a set of full wets. Massive stays out. Interesting. The 2 Haas drivers stay out.
Tom and Paul are in as well.
So Tom in as well. Paul
These
in.
tires are about the same pace. I think this is a perfect crossover point. I don't think it really matters at this point which ones you're on. I mean, we'll see what Paga ends up, but
Yeah, Paga is
Obviously,
going to
Yannick.
come out. It's going to be tight with
Ahead.
Yannick. He's going to come out in front of Yannick, just about. Yannick had a great
So
outlap
let's see.
there.
It stayed the same, really, there, didn't it? That gap. So, I mean, they're basically the same pace as tires at the moment.
Yeah.
Top 3, though. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in this. Paga has started actually to slowly close in on that.
Yeah, if you're Matt,
Maybe not.
actually forgot he was still running up there in P3. So obviously the first driver on track got preference to come in. That's why Paul McGuinness is on the full wets before him. But Mr. Costa, he's still building the gap on Massives. He's about 15 seconds clear of him. It would be tight with himself and Paga in the pit lane. But is he just going to take the gamble that the rain is not going to stay like this? Or is he going to come
What's your
in?
reason? Oh, Paga's off. Paga's went wide. That's not going to help his progress.
No, definitely not. Mr. Costa stayed out. Massives, he's 15 seconds behind, of course. Oh, look at the understeer that he's struggling with the front wing damage. Is he coming in? No. Haas are taking a gamble. Is Matt taking a gamble? Or is he going to come in this lap? He's losing a lot of time to Paga. He's lost about a second that lap.
Okay, that tells me it's not going to get full wet for very long then.
Yeah, so these top 3 guys are taking a huge gamble to stay out on those intermediate tyres, but could it be a genius call? Because it might not stay like this for very long.
Well, it might work for Matt, I guess, because he's, sort of keeping note to be in the top 3, but he's really struggling with the pace, isn't he, to Paga?
Yeah,
Even though Paga went off, I mean, he's straight back on the back of him, and he's losing massive time, isn't he, Matt?
Yeah, but as we said, Mr. Costa is having no problems really. He's pulled another second on Massives, so he's flying still on those intermediates. So he obviously feels that the intermediates are still a good tyre to be on. And judging by the offset in pace, it does really seem to be that way currently. Here comes Paga then to try and take away P3 away from EVR Matt. It's going to be tough to get past him here. It's a tough section to overtake on.
I really don't know how this is going to turn out. Like you say, Costa is pulling away from Masters, and since Matt is keeping the gap to Paga to stop him from catching, so I imagine Costa will retain his lead. I thought for a second he might not, but the longer Paga stays behind like this, the more chance Costa, who still stayed out along with his teammate.
Yeah, and Matt is coming in. Now that allowed Yannick to close up to Paga. That backed him up into him. So now we're going to see a great little battle, I think, between Corey and Paga and Yannick here for P3. If Yannick can stick with him, Corey is going to go to P5 now. He's going to overtake him. Tom is there as well. Paul McGinn is still there at P8. Then we have Jordan in P9 and Casper up in the top 10. I'm putting the pressure on. So Matt onto the full wets. So it's an interesting strategy from the two Haas drivers. They must be in a party together. Otherwise, I don't think this would be a thing. EVR Matt just about comes out in front of Jake and Scott, so he's still in the points thanks to that stop.
That says a lot. The fact he's still being able to come out ahead of them.
Yeah,
and he was at the back of them after that mistake.
So now the real gap we need to watch is the one between Paga and Massives. How fast is it coming down, or is it coming down at all?
There might end up coming a gap between Yannick and Massives. I mean, Yannick is still there.
Yeah, he's about 8 seconds behind Massives in total. So let's Mr. Costa's in. Mr. Costa's in. So this is going to be very tight on pit exit between himself and Paga. Massives is probably going to stay out, or is he going to come in? Because there's enough gap there for them to not double stop. In he comes. The two Haas drivers are in. Mr. Costa pulling in. Full wet tyres for him. And he's on his way out of the pit garage. That was very interesting. Here comes Paga through the final corner. I think he's going to come out in front. Yes, he is. Mr. Costa back into the net race lead. Paga's on his way down towards turn 1, but it's just a massive gap. He's still 6 seconds clear on the way out of the pit exit. Now, where is Massive's going to come out? He's going to come out.
Oh, that's so painful.
Oh.
They had to wait for a few seconds. They had to wait a few seconds for the actual pit crew to get ready for a stop. Then the front wing change. That is such a long, painful stop.
They've put the intermediates on.
Oh my god, as well. Seriously.
Now, was that planned? So is he just going to maybe just have a gamble and just stay out on the intermediates and hope it dries up again?
He's got a nice reference here in Luke. But this weather, I just don't think it's very suited to the intros right now, but
yeah, we're at the halfway point in this race, and Mr. Costa still out in the lead by 3.4 seconds from Yannick. It's pretty much gone back to the way it was before the pit stops, but the big gainer is Paul McGuinness, who is up to P6 after all those stops, and he's kind of
He's very long way away, but he's also into the intros. He's very, very far away, but he's on the intros now. So maybe he thinks it's time to go back.
Yeah, he's almost a lap down. So it'd be interesting to use him as a reference, perhaps, to see how his lap times do. There's a lot of spray coming off those tyres, so it's I don't think there's much of a difference between them currently, but we shall see. Mr. Costa building the gap already. And I think we can tell that he is certainly a master of the wet conditions. He's just flying away out front.
He's having a great race.
And what a story this would be. He took his first race win in ILR last time out, and to put it back to back would be quite the story. And
puts him in the championship very, very much right in the fight again at the halfway point of the season if he can win this.
I think should put him top 5 in the championship. After all that, he was below top 10. He's now in the top 10, but this should bring him up to the top 5, or even maybe just P6 maybe. But he's absolutely flying, already 4 seconds clear of Paga. And the closest battle we have currently is between Casper and Jordan. Now Casper is driving excellently today as well, so he's had a good race.
Got Scott and Jake as well.
Scott and Jake, yeah, this is for P10 actually, so it's an important position for them. Mercedes running with one single car today, so it's important that they get as much points.
Mattis has fallen away.
Yeah, it's right on board with them, see how much he's struggling. Oh, look. He's struggling to put the power down. He's so late with the power delivery. It's greasy as hell out there. Listen to the. Let's just listen for a moment to the power application.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not even using full throttle at all, as far as I can hear. Let's just listen
Look
for
at his delta.
yeah, plus 1.5 on his best. So this is certainly full wet conditions. So these guys have made the wrong choice, and I think he's just
out of that corner. Absolutely ages to just get anything power on.
I've never seen a bigger moment than Jake's right there. Jake was full opposite lock through the final corner. I don't know how he saved it, but he did. So channeling his inner rally skills there, and he's trying to fight Scott off. And update on the gap out front: 4.5 seconds. It's just a Sunday drive really for him today.
We've got all the clean air, I guess.
Yep.
Although, I wonder how close he is to Matthew, to lapping him. Obviously, Matthew's ghosted, so it's not really the best reference, actually. But it's about, let's say, about 10 seconds behind Chill. Robinson.
Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, he's roughly, whereas Chill is currently going through the final corner. And Mr. Costa, yeah, he's about 7 or 8 seconds behind.
So give him another car to look at anyway. I haven't seen many of them today.
Gap between Paga and Yannick coming down. It's within a second now. No DRS, of course, in the full wet conditions. Certainly not in intermediates, but definitely not in full wet conditions. So we're pretty certain that this race is going to finish in the full wet conditions.
Wow, Scott just had a big moment there. Either a penultimate hairpin, I should say. He was very sideways out of there.
Jake again very sideways as well.
They're struggling.
Yeah.
Tom's starting to slightly close on Corey. Obviously, Corey had pulled away as him and Matthew started to have a fight. So I wonder if Tom is starting to show his hand, maybe start getting closer. Casper's just not really been able to do anything on Jordan, who's been thereabouts, but not quite get any opportunity for a move yet. Another place where DRS might seriously help, but obviously it's raining, so.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of context as to why they don't use DRS in wet conditions. If you can imagine a Formula 1 car with reduced drag, with a front wing or a rear wing flap wide open, reducing downforce, and it hits a puddle, it's not going to end well. That's my take on it anyway.
And even still, they'd have no braking anyway.
Yeah, so they just go straight on at every corner because it gives it an extra 20 kilometers an hour of speed. They'd be braking a million miles too early for the corner. But Yannick, he's starting to pile the pressure on Paga, who's had a little bit of a moment coming out of the final corner. It's quite a shallow line. And Mr. Costa, and again, 5.6 clear out front. So, Yannick looking good in that wet line. Good power delivery. And is just starting to hound the back of that Williams. Keeping it very tight. Neat and tidy. Paga's just a little bit scrappy up there.
Well, Yannick wasn't the best either. He went quite wide, actually, through turn 3, but that's a very nice turn 4 from him. But the exit got a bit greedy on the throttle. Yeah. It's such a difficult corner to do in the wet. Because you basically you have to wait so long.
Yeah.
In the park, you're always just turning for it. Oh, Paga had to cut the chicane there a little bit.
Yeah, let's just keep an eye on how Massives is doing. He's currently 2.6 seconds down on his best lap, so Paga, massive moment coming through the S's there. So even with the full wet tyres, it doesn't matter, it's still very slippery out there.
Oh, is that chill drive?
Yeah, that is chill drive just up ahead. So Mr. Costa's obviously lapped him already. So let's see.
Yannick will see that, and yeah, he'd be really looking to take the advantage of that, because this track is hard enough to pass on with a dry track. This is when you're talking about all of it.
Yeah, well, Chill Drive did a great job to get out of the way there. He's obviously not in a fight with anyone. He's about a minute behind Massives. But he's just getting used to driving in the league race conditions. So lap 22 of 35.
Well, don't forget he's on inters actually as well.
Yeah, so I think he's having a little bit of an old slide around, having a bit of fun.
I wonder what people have been saying in the chat now. Stream, we'll have a little look.
So, Yannick closing in again. So, keep an eye on the German on board. Hasn't had the win yet. Had plenty in ILR3. And that ILR2 win just eluding him a little bit. So, on for a good result here again. Just correcting a little bit of oversteer through there. Let's see, he's within half a second of Paga now. And we could certainly see a good battle between these two. Let's see.
You got to remember, he did come up through ILR3 as well, so like the pace he's got is very impressive. Yeah,
he's certainly asserted himself. He's slotted in really well into ILR2.
Big slice.
Yeah.
How has he not lost it? He's again 2 or 3 times to that corner.
Yeah, very difficult to get the power down in the wet, especially if you're running no assists.
Casper is closer than ever.
To the back of Jordan, yeah, as you said. And he's just starting to sniff around. Let's see, on the power, who gets the better exit. Pretty even between the two of them.
Yeah.
And Scott is in.
Casper might have a look.
Scott is into the pits. Now that could be interesting. Let's see what he goes on to. Is it another set of wets, or is it going to be inters? He doesn't seem to have any damage. This could be a scheduled pit stop. Is he going for inters? No,
Wets.
he's going for another set of wets.
Bit of an old strategy, to be honest.
Yeah, not sure what he was thinking there. He's going to drop behind Massives now. No move between Jordan and Casper just yet. And Yannick and Paga still remain in the same positions.
Actually, that's the issue with this track. They call it Monaco without the walls, and this is showing it in a way. It's just almost impossible, and you have to do something really, really different to try and get past.
It's difficult enough in the dry, but even more impossible in the wet to make any sort of move work. And Casper still driving really well, trying to get past Jordan. Got a better exit that time, so it's definitely going to be lining one up down the start finish. Big correction for oversteer.
Chill drive, getting out of the way.
Yeah, doing a good job.
The entire field are going to lap over this race, and he's just not enjoying them inters.
Whoa, Casper looking. That'll compromise his exit a little bit though, so he's definitely going to try one down towards turn 1. I think Jordan to the middle of the road. I think he's just a little bit too far back to try this one. Let's see if he can think about it into turn 1. He thinks about it. Locks it up a little bit. He's going to have massive correction for oversteer on the way out. Fighting with the car through the whole corner there. But still has to settle for 8th currently.
He could have broke a little bit later now. He was very, very close.
Yeah, the big double lock-up on the way in. So I think he just had to back out of that one. It almost ended up like Charles Leclerc did earlier today.
Do you know what, actually? He's had to back off so much that Matt is now closer to him than Casper's close to Jordan. He has lost quite a bit there.
Yeah, so if you're Matt back in the fight now.
He's been going along quite nicely, actually, to catch up to this fight.
Yeah, I mean, the two Toro Rosses have both gone really well today. Matt and Paul. Paul up in P6 currently. It's one of his best drives of the season so far. And also Matt up in P9. We remember...
I just noticing this now. Look how light the rain is now.
It is starting to abate a little bit. You are correct. So maybe, just maybe, Massives might have made a genius call. Just maybe.
Oh, I think he's lost a bit too much time.
He's 12 seconds. He's a long way back from the leaders, but if he just manages to hold it together for a little bit longer, he may be able to just get to the end on this set of inters.
Well, first we need to see him start catching, because this should really be into territory now. I mean, the rain is so light.
It was really heavy earlier. Oh, Casper, big lockup into turn 1 once again, and now Matt starting to capitalise.
He had a decent exit there. I thought he might have been able to get a little closer, but just holds back for now. But Casper's gone wide again.
Oh, Matt still not able to do anything just yet. But yeah, Matt. I think his best result was also P9 in Spain.
Here comes Scott on Massives.
Scott on Massives. This is for P12 currently. Scott not able to get the traction on the way out. So Massives cuts across his nose, and he'll hold on for P12 as the grip starts to come back for those intermediates just a little bit. It'll start to get better lap by lap. But it's still extremely greasy out there. It's almost as if they're...
like Yannick has now lost a lot of time to Paga.
Yeah, he's... Look at him through the final corner. He's just fighting, sawing at the wheel, trying to get it into a straight line.
Jeez, Scott was right alongside Masters into the chicane. He just backed off. He wants the exit. He's going for it on the inside to the S's. This could be very bad. He's saw a bit of sense there and not went for that.
Yeah, and Massives is fighting every single corner with that car. Touches the curb.
Oh.
Great save from Massives there. But here comes Scott now. He's lost him a lot of time. Scott to the outside. Let's see if he can make a move here. Nope, no room to work with there.
I am surprised how much Massives is struggling right now. Is this how he's been driving the whole time, I wonder?
I think so. Scott looking up the inside into the last corner. Let's see if it... Very close to the wall. Scotland with the traction. I think might get the traction on the way out. But Massive has a better line. But Scott is ahead. Massive still has his nose in there towards turn 1. Good straight line speed in that Haas on the brakes. Who's going to be better on the brakes? Looks like Scott might hold on for this one. Let's see if Massive can get the cutback. Yes, he can. He does get the cutback. But Scott sliding on the way out. But I think he is ahead this time.
Very poor exit from Massives. So even though he's on the right tyres now, there's just no grip on them.
Yeah, it's just not the right time for them yet. He's burnt them all out.
Yeah, nothing left. Casper and Jordan are still quite close, along with Matt.
Yeah. So yeah, Matt's best finish this season, I think, was P9 in Spain as well, when he held off. Well, he pulled off an amazing defensive drive to keep a driver behind him. But now he's the one trying to make the moves, trying to get past Casper and Jordan. Let's see. I
wonder if anyone's going to take a risk and pit.
We're on lap 27 of 35. Not long left in this race. Let's see.
It would seem like quite a long shot, to be fair, but like it could work. I think at the moment, in like a couple of laps time, since it takes so long to get around here in the wet anyway, I think.
Oh.
There, look at that, Massives.
Yeah, I think the grip. Oh, look at Scott in the background. He's completely crossed up. And there goes Matt past Casper. We just missed that as I was flicking back. I think he actually went round and did a Fernando Alonso around the outside of turn 2. Massive moment for Matt there, but he is into P8. And Chill Drive is in as well.
Again.
So let's see if maybe Casper can come back at Matt, but that's allowed Jordan a little bit of breathing space.
I think this might be the lap to come in for the Inters.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to take the risk, it could be now.
See, suddenly...
blue sky.
See, suddenly Massives has pulled 2 seconds on Scott. Paga's in, the first of the leaders to make the jump. He's seen the blue sky. He changes off the blue tyres. So let's see if this is going to be the Inters. I assume it would be. Now, I think one of the Ferrari crew are getting ready as well. That's Tom in. Is it the Inters? Yes, it is. Paul McGuinness in as well for his stop. Now, Mr. Cost has got to push.
This is going to get interesting now.
Out comes Paga. Where's he come out? He's come out in front of Silent Assassin. Now, that's crucial. So
Tom and Paul should be in their own sort of clean space. It's Jackson as well. They have plenty of room for themselves.
Jake and Casper in. So where Is Massive... Maybe I don't think Massive's actually going to gain out of this at all, really. Even with him staying out in the entrance, he's just lost too much time. He might... No, he's going to come out and remain where he is, actually. Now he's going to lose a lot of time. So unfortunately, it didn't quite work out the way he thought it would. So, lap 28 of 35, the rain has abated. And they might actually fully stop by the end.
Paga is closing quickly.
Yeah, now, Mr. Costa, he's got to respond. No.
No?
No, he stayed out.
Wow, I'm really surprised by that.
Now, what's
Paga's closing so quickly.
What are Yannick and Corey going to do? Yannick stays out.
As well.
Corey stays out.
They want to go to the very end. They're not going to bother pit in, I don't think.
Yeah, I think they're just afraid they're going to lose so much time. I mean, Paga's got to pull about 23 seconds to catch Mr. Costa. So, I think it might actually be a smart decision for Mr. Costa to remain out. But Corey might be in danger depending on how dry it gets. Silent Assassin in, Matt in. So, Tom's going to get P5 out of this. Take it away.
Paga's taking another second out. It might even come to the point where even if them lot don't pit, they'll lose so much time that yeah, it could be Paga's race anyway.
Scott gets the first corner cutting penalty of today. So I think actually Luke is also gambling and staying out as well, but he's got a lot of drivers behind him. He's got Casper and Jordan and also Matt there. There is an outside chance of points for Luke today. If he manages...
I can't see it happening, unfortunately. I mean, look at Paga. He's closed 2 seconds on his lap already, almost 3. So how will these not be catching?
Yeah, so I think Luke just wanted to run in the points for once. But he's going to get absolutely eaten up now. Casper looking to the inside. Might just outbrake him here. Stick one down the inside. A little bit of side pod contact there. Now Silent Assassin might capitalise on this one, but no room for him to work with. 5 laps to go in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Oh, there's a lot of contact, and that's Luke around. Casper involved.
Jeez.
And that's how quickly it can turn. That's how quickly it can turn.
They closed very quickly on him, like I said.
Fastest lap of the race, 1:32.5. He's pulled 3 seconds in one single lap.
This is going to be quite the cliffhanger of a last lap.
Yeah, now we've got to think. This could be really tight in the line. If he can keep that pace up, he might catch up to, maybe he might catch Yannick, but he'll certainly catch Corey. I think Mr. Costa is pretty safe in P1 and about to do, about to pull off a miracle. Back-to-back wins after his first ever win. That was Casper past Luke. I think there was even more contact there. So Casper into the points.
It seems like that was such an unnecessary crash to have, but the issue was, like I said, that they would catch him so quickly.
Yeah.
But Jordan's the man under pressure now, isn't he? For P7.
Yeah, for
Matt
P7.
Still in the back.
And Jake is there too.
We know, having seen inters earlier, are much better for the actual overtaking aspect.
Yeah.
So this is the time to make all the moves now.
Yep. So Matt on for what I believe to be his best result of the season so far, but he can maybe put it one better. Get past Silent Assassin, get it 6th and 7th for Toro Rosso. There goes Paga again. Takes another second out of the fastest lap, and he's now only 5.5 behind Corey. And Corey...
That's 10 seconds.
And Corey has pulled time on Yannick as well. He's catching Yannick.
It's all starting to concentrate up.
So we said there wasn't going to be a mix-up in strategies. There most definitely was in this race. But Paga is closing at a rate of knots here. He's now 4 seconds behind Corey. I don't think there's even going to be a contest for this position. Sector 3, Luke out. Oh dear!
That's a nasty crash of Masters on the main straight, and Masters has hit the wall afterwards straight away, lost his front wing.
Wow, ouch. So, probably a bit of a hook there, but somebody got hooked and spun into the wall. So, that's a shame. Oh, Masters as well, out as well.
He's just stuck it in the wall in turn 1.
Yeah, he's not having a good day.
From a podium position to poor strategy choices.
Look at Pag, he's 1.6 behind.
Is he? Oh my goodness.
And look, that's Yannick just up the road.
Okay, right. Pag is going to win this.
Pag, I think, Yannick is in. He's given up.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is going to be no contest. Straight past. Rocketing past. This is going to come down to the wire.
If Pag keeps at this pace, I think he's going to win the race. He's got 4 laps to do this.
The absolute scenes if he won this race. This would be the most amazing victory from this.
Don't forget Tom. He knows 1 inches. Can he catch up to Corey as well?
He's 10 seconds behind. And look at that. Paul McGuinness into P5.
How far is Yannick going to fall back then? He's only going to be 6th place. It's not the biggest loss of all time, but how is this going to work for Tom and Paga, the 2 men on the move?
Oh, lap 32 of 35.
This has come alive, the end of this race.
Yeah.
Paga's already closed 2 seconds on this lap. Make that 3. He's absolutely flying. And Tom as well is closing so much.
Yeah, he's now 10 seconds behind, and Tom pulled 3 seconds as well on Corey.
Jordan still defending. Still got Matt and Jake on the back of that, so that's something to keep an eye on. What about these two then? There's 5 seconds almost for Paga on this 1 lap alone.
It's lap 33 of 35. There's 3 laps to go. He is going to, at the rate he's going to catch him on the final lap.
No, it's going to be lap 34, I reckon. I think it'll be end of lap 34. He's gained 5.5 seconds on that lap.
Yeah, Mr. Costa.
Tom has gained 6.5 on Corey, I think. On this as well. These two are both absolutely flying like crazy.
What a podium this will be for Tom to take. The gap is now set 6.9 up front and decreasing so fast that you can barely keep an eye on it.
Oh, and Corey's made a big mistake.
Lost it and through into...
And Paga's to 6 seconds now.
5.8, he's underneath it now. He can smell blood, he knows he's got a chance of victory.
I'm on board with Costa and he's just having to cruise run. His back end, he's just got no rear end. He can't turn into any of the corners. He's just all over the show.
He's realised, I think he's lost the race now. I think he's realised it.
He'll still be on the podium.
Yeah, 3.6. He's still going to be on the podium, but it's not going to be the fairy tale back-to-back victory. The gap now 3 seconds, and he's going to catch him on this lap. But then again, I can imagine Mr. Costa's going to defend this one as hard as he can.
But when Paga's gaining 6.5 seconds on him in 1 lap, I don't think there's much he can really do to defend.
1:31.4, fastest lap once again. Paga is flying. He's got a lapped car in between himself and Massives now, and the lapped car is actually going quicker than him. So, well, he's actually disappeared off the screen there. Now there is Paga. Within that 1 second gap, there is just nothing Mr. Costa can do. He tried ever so hard, but Paga's now looking to the outside up towards the top of the hill. No way to move on. Paul McGuinness has just got into 4th.
Yep.
Now,
and here we go, this is it.
Yannick has got past him as well. I think Corey might have bottled it somewhere. Oh, he's got a puncture. Rear right. He's got a puncture.
Well, the same then happened.
Oh, so he's through. Paga's through into the lead, and surely on his way to victory out of absolutely nowhere.
Yes, but what about this puncture? Will the same thing happen to Mr. Costa? Will we see Tom and Paul on the podium with?
That is an absolute disaster for Corey. Look, he's dropped all the way down to 9th. He's got to go a whole lap to try and get to the pits. He's going to drop out of the points. Now, we've got to keep an eye. We've got to keep an eye on Mr. Costa and see. He might lose second to Tom if he's struggling this much.
Hard to tell what Tom was caught on this lap, because we were seeing the gap to Pago, it was 11 seconds.
He's now 6 behind. He might do it.
He gained a second in one corner.
Final lap in Hungary, and I think probably one of the most unexpected victories this season.
Yeah, Tom's flying.
Tom with the fastest lap, 1:31.3. I think he might actually catch Mr. Costa.
What an incredible end to this race.
Tom, I cannot believe that this is the way it's going to end. Let's keep an eye on the battle that's still raging on between Silent Assassin, Matt, and Jake. And Jake, I think, is having a little lunge down the inside of turn 1, a little tap of the rear end. And no way through.
Well, I'm going to have to shoot up at the end of this lap, so...
Yeah, I will also have to do so as well. So, the red...
Don't maybe not get to do a wee thing with Tom then, now?
No, unfortunately. Unfortunately, no. Yeah, Tom's caught him. Tom has caught him, and through... Oh no! There's contact!
Tom went too early!
Paul McGuinness! Paul McGuinness is going to get second! Paul McGuinness is about to get a podium. Unbelievable scenes. Yannick.
Crazy. Where is he? He's right behind. Can Tom hang on? Will he get a penalty for Costa?
Oh,
I think he went that too early.
What a story. What a story.
Paga round the final corner.
And what an end to an incredible race. It's going to be Paga who's going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. And would you look who's going to come through to take P2. It's going to be the Flying Scotsman. It's Paul McGuinness to take P2.
Masterclass. Fantastic race.
Tom held on to take P3. Yannick will take P4. And Mr. Costa just about, after leading the entire race, finishes P5.
Will Tom's incident go to the stewards? That's the question. I think he went for it a bit too early. He could have waited.
Corey with a disaster. He got a puncture on the last lap. And that is it.
Point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unfortunately, I think we've both got to shoot off immediately. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next race. What a bloody race.
That was a thrilling end.
What a finish. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time for round 11. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Right, off to another.